Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 25th day of August 2020. Well, we have a 7 energy for today, so try to find a balance between spirit and ego if you can, with it maybe a little more heavier weighted on spirit today. We have Mars energy today, so being a Tuesday, so caution there. Oh, it's always fun, isn't it, on a Tuesday? It's almost like you want it to have that energy on Monday to get yourself going. But instead, it's like the emotional, oh God, do I really want to be at work today? It's Monday. Oh no, I'm not ready. I always thought that really, if you could just work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and then have Mondays and Fridays off, you might really do better, because Friday it's not worth it either, because you're ready for the weekend. So, and whenever we'd have a 4-day week, it'd be like, okay, which is better, having Monday off or Friday off? And I don't know. Sometimes I think it's better to have Monday off, because then you can meet the week with Tuesday energy, unless you're somebody that needs to really work into it. So I don't know. Well, the postal thing was interesting yesterday. Apparently the man does not know anything about anything. Doesn't know how much stamps are. Doesn't know why the postal machines are being dismantled. But by golly, he's not going to have them reassembled. Yeah, I don't know. Check the esoteric influences today. If you haven't watched the video, check it out over on the blog. Go down to the bottom of it and look at the human design. Well, it's not the bottom, because actually that's the tarot and the geomancy stuff there. The middle section, it starts out, well, lunar transits and the human design is in the second section of it. So look at the human design and see what you think about this. I think that it may be, if it's this that it's talking about, then someone's head's going to roll, I think, on it. And it could be the head guy, the postmaster general who testified. I got a funny feeling he's not long for this. So, especially based on what the planetary positions were on the I Ching and the human design chart. I don't know. Read it and see what you think, but I think that's where we're headed. So I hope, anyway. I would just like my packages to get to my grandkids on time. That's all. I don't really care about the rest of it. We don't get our medications through the mail, so but anyone who does, their health is being threatened by this. I mean, just how stupid and self-dealing are these people? Well, I think we know the answer to that. That's a dumb question, isn't it? I got to fix my shawl here. The fringe is getting in the way of my shuffling. I love this shawl. It's got, I got it at Costco. I have a gray one too, years ago, and it was in a bamboo container, and it's made from bamboo. Well, it's woven into the fabric. I love them. They're my favorite shawls. Anyway, I wear them all the time. Ooh, is it raining? No, maybe my husband's just watering. Anyway, okay, we might get some ground striking lightning today, is why I'm concerned. So it's like, come back in the house. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started and take our first 3 cards. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've come back, thank you so much. Click subscribe. I'd love you to do that. And come back and join us as we learn about tarot and runes and geomancy and all of that, and how it can affect our lives going forward, and kind of maybe even taking a look at our perceptions and all of that, and whether or not they're realistic. And it just, I don't know, it just gives you other things to consider than just your own mindset. So anyhow, how I do this is I take the first 3 cards. Well, I don't take the first 3 cards. I take 3 cards first. Each one I'm going to take randomly, the 13th one each time. I don't want any of my shuffling or anything to influence the reading. After that, I'm going to take a rune from the Elder Futhark bag, and then we will close out with the geomancy rune to sort of tie everything together. And I have a geomancy reading that's going to go up on the blog here, maybe today. I'm not doing it in the same way that I typically do it. I wonder if I have one here handy. Usually I do them on a shield chart, and you have to initially, but then I transferred it all over to a house chart. And so I'm doing that this time based on the house positions and how it relates to it. So it should be interesting. Hopefully, anyway. I started it last night, and I didn't get it finished. It kind of got away from me. Got a little more involved than what I thought. So I'll either shorten it a little bit or... but I just need to finish it, and I'll get that done here today, probably this afternoon. Or this morning if things go quickly for me. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, though. I have some other writing I have to do, and we'll just see. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started and take our first 3 cards. Well, we had this yesterday, didn't we? Was it yesterday or day before? No, it must have been yesterday because today's just Tuesday. Yeah, we got the 2 of Pentacles again. So decisions again having to do with, it's earth element with Pentacles. So you're talking physical security, physical surroundings, life in form. So home, work, family, tradition, legacy. It could be anything, really. Anything to do with our life in form. It's an emotional decision, as we've talked about, because there's some big waves in the background. But he's turning his back to that, and he's not letting emotion influence what needs to happen. So that he, can find either a better balance or something. 2 is oftentimes about balance. It's also about decisions. So something needs to be decided today, leaving the emotion out of it. Probably want to leave the Mars energy out of it too. Yeah, Temperance. 14th card of the Major Arcana. Soul archetype card. We might put Temperance in the center. We'll see, though. See what the next card is. The Fool. Undeveloped potential. Another card from the Major Arcana. So, let me think about it. Maybe we'll put the 2 in the center. Well, we have a 7 energy for the reading so far anyway, which mirrors what we have today. So... I'm going to leave the 2 in the center. So let's knock it over candles. So we have the 2 of Pentacles, and we see the line of demarcation right at the bottom there, in between the land and the water. It shows, it defines this is now, this was then. Okay, so some emotional upheaval is leading to a decision on the home front or in our personal lives. Maybe material security. Again, from the Esoteric Influences reading, this morning we talked about, in the human design section, about how possibly what that was talking about has to do with the postal situation. Because heads seem to be, it's possible heads are going to roll over this. And that a reestablishment of order is going to take place. Because we can't have what we're having. Okay, it can't continue for so many reasons. Not just for voting by mail, but people getting their medications and they're not getting them. That's a problem. And this guy is like, oh yeah, I don't know about that. And he knows nothing about who said to dismantle the sorting machines. But he's not going to have them reassembled. Although the postal workers in Washington State aren't listening, and they did it anyway. Yeah. Yeah, we have to make a decision. We had this yesterday. 2 is about balance. It's about decisions. It's about, balanced polarity, either within or without. And when I say without, I mean with others, between self and others. But the way is choppy. You see the boats, one's going down the wave, one's coming up the wave. And so we have instability. So where does the solution come from? Is it going to come from ego, to where we continue this ridiculousness, to where we continue, when asked questions about it, continue to lie? There's no way that he wasn't lying. There's just no way. Just lied to Congress. Lied to the American people. Because if this guy, if this Postmaster General doesn't even know the price of a stamp, doesn't know how much priority mail costs, doesn't know anything at all, I know nothing, really, then he doesn't deserve the job. If he really doesn't know, if he's telling the truth, I don't know, then why does he have the job? See, something something smells, right? So, however, temperance, we see the angel, we see the glyph for fire on the front of the angel's gown. We see source energy just exploding out from his head. So the light of spirit surrounds him. He's basically balancing will with emotion there, fire and water. You see the sun rising over the two peaks in the background. You see the water irises, transformation, purity. We see what either is a path down to the pool of water, or it's the source of the water in the pond. Although it's not blue, so we're going to call it a path. But you see over here, the two peaks represent balance, and you see the vitality of the sun, the new day coming. So something new in terms of balance. Temperance is about moderation, basically. But a 5 energy, so you're talking change. But it's change that is predicated upon balancing will with emotion. Emotion can get carried away, right? But we need temperance. We need moderation there. We also need moderation with our will. Will can get out of control. And then intellect can come in and just, try to reason the crap out of it, right? Well, we don't have that right now, but it's just mostly will. It's will and emotion that we're dealing with in terms of this decision. You can see that reflected there behind in the unstable water back there. It's almost like, and the other thing that it's saying, if you look at it now, the big ship is a little bit too high up on that peak, but generally speaking, what you're talking about there is making decisions either on the downside or on the upswing, but never in the valley and never in the peak. Because when in the valley you can't see clearly, and you can't even on the peak either, because emotions are too crazy, so's will. So basically you want to make decisions as you're going up or coming down in that midway point. That's where most decisions that are successfully made are made. Otherwise, you have too much lack of impulse control when you're on the peak, and too much depression when you're down in the valley. You see what I'm saying? So in order to make this decision effectively, we have to manage what's going on back here. And we do that by transmuting ego into spirit. And that's really what temperance is saying. And then that gives us, once we do that, we have the undeveloped potential of the fool, where we can take that leap of faith into, either something new beginnings. I know for some people who can't tell the truth, that, to stop doing that is new beginnings. But maybe we need to just simply remove that person from the situation. In other words, if we can't return things to proper order, then heads need to roll. I mean, that's just, people need to be fired, especially when it's impacting the country the way that it is. Okay? Because there are two major cards here in the reading, it's suggesting that's big things going on, right? Big things that only spirit can really tackle. And so with the Fool, it's card 0. We see the sun up there shining forth. And the Fool is neither male or female. It's an androgynous character until you take the leap into the body. In other words, until you infuse your soul into the body. Whenever you do that, either at birth or if maybe later on something happens and another piece of your soul needs to come in as a walk-in to help sturdy things up or whatever, I don't know. Whenever that happens, but particularly at birth, when it happens, it's only then that the gender is defined. Okay, and then we have to then figure out what is the polarity, the receptive and projective, or feminine and masculine polarity. How's that going to be balanced and then manifested in the body? But before we get there, see, it's all one. It's not. We don't have those issues. And so there he is, carefree, no issues, holding a white rose of purity in one hand, his knapsack over his shoulder, his dog at his side. They're all ready to take the leap of faith into form, into the unknown. And that's after the decision's made to do so, right? It suggests that even after the decision is made, there's going to be some unknown aspects of this, but that if we take that leap of faith and we transmute ego into spirit and make our decision from that higher self place, then I think we do better than if we don't, right? So moderation today. Do we dare take an outcome card? Moderation, and make the decision from the standpoint of spirit. Do what's best for the whole here, and take that leap of faith that everything's going to turn out fine, that order will be reestablished, because we have a blueprint, whether anybody pays attention to it or not. And it doesn't seem like the Republicans in Congress are paying much attention to that. But we do have a blueprint called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and maybe we just need to trust in that process. That once we can get rid of the many layered authority that seems to be behind a lot of this, because it's not just that guy. Treasury Secretary is involved in this too, apparently. So. Well, I think that it's talking about swift action. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen swiftly. It's an 8 energy here for the 8 of Wands, and so you're talking swift movement, but you're talking about it from a standpoint of leadership, the spiritual warrior within. 8 is essentially about that. Think the god Tyr and the rune Tiwas, and taking the type of leadership role that sees the bigger picture, that understands the greater consciousness of things. The collective consciousness of things, the collective impact, and so I think that that's really I suspect that that's what this is about. Decisions have to be made. It has to be balancing will with emotions. We have to trust in the process and what we've already established, see the bigger picture and act swiftly. We don't have any time left. So hopefully they'll convince the Board of Governors to sack this guy, and maybe we can get back to normal. We have Fehu for today, first rune of the Elder Futhark. It means cattle and movable wealth. But aside from that, Fehu is the sending rune, and so this is the energy behind the decision that needs to be made today. Fehu can be used in magic. It can be certainly in rune magic, but just to cast your intention, you can chant the word Fehu to send your intention when you're working magic. There's lots of ways to do that, but Fehu's one of them. Let's see. But it's the idea of also how we deal with success. I want to look one thing up here. Let me find him. There we go. It's really about growth and success, isn't it? We cannot do that if there are stumbling blocks and challenges to that. And when the powers that be are the ones that are the ones responsible for all of that, then it tends to disrupt things in a way that are not just irritating, but at times demoralizing. And right now, before an election, when you have to worry about, because we're going to have to all vote by mail, which we do in Oregon, have for over 20 years, it's fine. It works. I probably won't send mine through the mail. I'll probably go find a drop box this time, which I've never had to do. But I don't know what the outcome's going to be. If we can at all get it under control, though, maybe we won't have to do that. I can vote from the comfort of my recliner and then, walk it up to the mailbox when I'm done. I don't know. It's always worked in the past. Never had a problem. But, that's the lie that's being spread now. So, again, temperance. Knock it off. But but in other words, to manage our success, we have to make a decision based on spirit. And with Fehu, basically being life force, that's life force energy, the sending energy for magical workings, growth, success, abundance. Again, wealth that's it's thought of to be cattle, so movable wealth. At one point, the tribes were able to basically move their wealth with them as they traveled. Maybe they went from one place to another. Maybe they had a summer home and then maybe they moved to a different place in the winter. And this way they could take their wealth with them. It could be used as currency between other tribes. They could do trading and bartering with it. But basically it signals life force, doesn't it? Because in order to survive, maybe you have to do that, right? So again, it's a life force rune. And what we're talking about here, particularly with the Fool and the undeveloped potential, that's also life force, isn't it? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to align that with probably the Fool and likely the 8. And have Fehu be the sending force behind this swift action and swift change. So I would say then that the energy for that's going to happen very quickly. Let's look at the geomancy. Let's create a geomancy rune, I should say. Let's see, what do we have? Oh, yeah, okay. We have Caput Draconis. I'll draw that out for you. Caput Draconis, the two Draconi are one's Caput, one's Kata. We had Kata yesterday, I guess. Was it Kata yesterday? Yeah. And I dropped one of my runes on the floor, and so I had to do it differently. But we had Kata yesterday. Kata's the tail of the dragon. It's thought to be an evil influence, likely due to the effect of karma. It's a karma rune. But its complement is Caput, and that's the head of the dragon, and that's the north node of the moon. Kata is the south node of the moon. And so again, we're talking past life karma usually. Past life experiences coming into play. And, and it's not like karma's going to get you or nothing. That's not what that's about. Maybe in one life we're the oppressor, and in this life we're the victim. We're learning about the whole concept of oppression, basically, by the role that we take and form. So that's what we mean by karma. Karma's not really what people think. But this is Caput Draconis. Passive influence for fire, active for air, water, and earth. But it's basically about new beginnings or new direction. And clearly, I think that that's what's needed right now. The underlying energy here is that we need to shift away from this abusive, oppressive type of nonsense. I mean, specifically, it has to do with what we've been talking about, has to do with the Postal Service, maybe. It could be broader than that. It could have something to do with something going on in your personal life. It's just that this big thing is happening to all of us right now, especially if you're somebody like a veteran or seniors that get your medications through the mail. And I know that probably other people do too, but they seem to be the biggest group. Or the biggest two groups, veterans and seniors, and veterans who are seniors, they get their meds through the mail. My husband has in the past, I have in the past. We're not doing that right now, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't happen in the future, and we depend on it, though, when we do that. It's not like you walk down to, the store, to the pharmacy, and get your meds, and then you bring them home. You have to wait. You know, there's a request time, a fill time. You can't do it before a certain date. So you see you're caught between a rock and a hard place, really. It's not about what you want. Of course, it really isn't either, because your insurance company won't let you order anymore or before a certain date. So it's the same kind of thing. And I realize why they're doing it, you know, but for some people that doesn't work, right? And so for veterans and seniors who want to have their stuff given, and with veterans, they don't really have a choice. If they don't live close to a pharmacy, a VA pharmacy, which is usually in a hospital, but if you don't live close enough to one, and we don't, then you have to rely on this. And if somebody is there messing with it and delaying everything, I mean, there's some people, they've been waiting over a month for medication. That can't happen, right? So if that's what this is about, it seems like a new direction is going to be established here, or reestablished. And so there'll be a change in course, is what at least the esoteric reading was telling us today, and it's what this one seems to be telling us as well. A decision's going to have to be made. And it's going to have to come from some higher level of authority. So whether we're talking Congress or whether we're talking spirit, I don't know. But some kind of higher authority is going to have to come in and say, look, this isn't working, and we're going to have to do something here. So since you won't cooperate, bye-bye. And convince the Board of Governors to can this guy. And whoever else is a problem. Because we know it's not just him. Unfortunately, I don't know what they can do about one of the other guys there involved. So I don't know. Because for some reason, the Treasury Secretary is involved in this as well. At least that's what reports are. So what's going on here? Why are they doing this to everybody? Why are they harming everybody? Well, we know why. It's to keep their boss in power. I don't think that's going to happen, folks. It's like one of those things where you grab what you can before you're fired, you know. It's like, cut it out. This is a country that you're messing with. These are people's lives, you know. Knock it off. I don't know. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the stress. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of the conflict. I'm tired of feeling, I'm tired of worrying. You know, we can argue about policy, but to go out of your way to harm people, that's been going on for far too long. Not just during this time. But this went on, you know, trying to get bills passed during when Obama was there. It was like pulling teeth. But now, the bills are stacked up on Mitch McConnell's desk. Really? Well, there's a really cool person running against him, so maybe we'll see a change there as well. Anyway. I just thought it was interesting, you know, when I did the esoteric reading today, that the human design section just really seems to be talking about that. And I don't know. Something needs to happen. But I really think that, again, getting the Two of Pentacles 2 days in a row really indicates that a decision needs to be made. It needs to be made dispassionately. It just needs to be made like, okay, these things are wrong. You can't do them. You won't stop, so you go. It's that simple. I don't know. Something better happen. Anyway, I guess that's it. Oh, I did that Magical Musings thing, and I put that up. I did post it on the left side panel down below. And there's a heading. It says Magical Musings. So if you want to watch that, I did that. And I guess that's it. This will go up on this. It takes longer now because these are done in HD, I guess. I don't know. I changed the resolution to something better, and now it's taking longer to upload, and I guess it's because I did that. But I'd rather leave it there. So these are actually getting posted a little later than what I want. I'd like to have them all done in the morning and up, but it takes a while, you know, a couple hours for anything to process onto YouTube. So I'm sorry about that, but I don't know. It just is how I guess it's going to be. So, again, look for these both to go up on the blog on the side panel. Check out the Esoteric Influences if you want to read the longer version of it. It will be up probably before anything else. And so I'll do that now. And while I'm watching all this stuff and uploading. So anyway, thanks a lot, and come back and click subscribe. I'd love you to do that. But thanks for coming by today and listening. So if you have any other ideas about the reading, you know, you're sure welcome to include them in the comments below. And we can get a conversation going if you like. You know, these are just my views on things. Other tarot readers or other people something might strike you differently. You want to share that, please do. You know, I do this from my perspective. I try to take a bigger one, but you know, it's likely still representing my own perspective on things. And other people may have something that opens something up for somebody else. And so please feel free to include your own ideas and comments, and that'd be awesome. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another. Wear a mask if you go out, inside or out, or if you're around other people, wear one, please, please, please. And blessed be.